Greetings and welcome to this episode of Leadership Matters, a video interview series highlighting the stories and experiences of global leaders and providing valuable leadership lessons for our audience. The series is hosted by the dynamic Avinash Ananda, world's leading leadership and happiness master coach. Our special guest for today's episode is Somnath Malakar, based out of Johannesburg, South Africa. Somnath is the CEO of Zee Entertainment Enterprises Africa and has over 22 years of experience primarily in the FMCG and consumer business.
Welcome to this conversation. Somnath, I'm so happy to be here with you. This is a series of conversations with leaders and with achievers that I've been having on behalf of White Page International to have a nice little. Since I'm not there, you are not here. You're in Africa, is that correct? Right now?
Yeah, Avinash, in Joburg.
Wow. You're in Joburg. I'm sitting in Mumbai. I'm drinking some water. I don't know what you're drinking.
I'm having coffee. Unfortunately, it's 10 past 8 in the morning.
Nice. Oh, good.
But you should be jealous because I have a temperature here which is around 12 degrees now. And you guys are that close to that.
Right. No, I keep that inner temperature on, which is 12 degrees inside my room at least. Okay. Which is one of the things I want to talk to you about. So, dear viewers, this is a leadership talk series where we get life lessons and leadership lessons from very, very interesting people. And the super interesting person we have here today is Somnath. You've heard about him. You got the introduction already. They read it out to you. So you know a little bit about his background. So Somnath, today we're going to talk about your diverse background. You're sitting in Joburg, in the other end of the world, sipping coffee, and also about temperature. How do you maintain your inner temperature when the outer temperature is changing so much?
I think I've been blessed that way. I take one day at a time. And I believe, every day you live life and you take your chances. Right. And as far as you are good to people, people will be good to you. With that simple philosophy, I have been managing so far. And I've worked in a lot of countries. So I think, it works.
What are some of the countries you worked with?
I've worked in India, Indian subcontinent, in fact, India, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Southeast Asia, and then Africa now, around 52 countries.
Fantastic. Wow. And I've always been curious to ask somebody else this question because people usually ask me this question. I travel all over the world. I'm never in one country for more than 3-4 days. My life is crazy. People ask me where I live. I say I can only tell you where my mother lives. She lives in Mumbai. I go visit her once in a month. Otherwise, all. So they always ask me this question, and I'm asking you this about culture. Different cultures are supposed to have different mindsets. What is your way of adapting to this or getting work? Because you've been in leadership positions in these different countries. How do you interact with people? Being good to them is great. It's a lovely philosophy. But specifically, do you have some ways of interacting with people from different cultures?
I think a couple of things, Avinash, that has always worked for me is like, people in general who come from different diverse backgrounds, usually people have idiosyncrasies and preconceived notions about certain set of people. Sure. But inherently, they are coming from a space where they have different ideologies, different way of working. I think end of the day, if you try and be their friend, if you try and respect, show to them that you are not here to intimidate the other guy to just win a debate or win a deal. I think they do understand that. I think striking a personal chord is equally important. I probably say this, that I have stayed in Nigeria for more than 7.5 years. And I have been to places where for marriages of my team members in villages, And well, I don't have the food maybe that they serve, because uh, I my diet is only restricted to a chicken or a mutton, but they have slightly different stuff. But the fact that, when you go there and attend a wedding for a team member in a remote village where
Mm.
everyone else would say, like, we can't go because of security reasons, the kind of
Right.
respect you earn from that and the kind of commitment that guy shows thereafter to you, I think no leadership quality can deliver such
Mm.
outcomes. I think then
Mm.
you become a part of them. So they start seeing you as one of them. And that's, I think, very important. The the sooner you can be a part of that group,
Mm.
the faster are the chances of you being accepted, rather than
Mm.
you trying to represent a different culture, you trying to impose a different ideology. I think that causes a lot of obstacles in closing the gaps. And
Mhm.
I think I have been able to do it because maybe of my personal nature.
Mm.
And so in my company, there is no boss. I work with them, and I always introduce myself that I work for them.
Which company?
And I
This is
think,
Z, right? All right.
yeah, in any company that I serve,
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
yeah. So I have never behaved with anybody like a boss, or, because I am here, you must listen to me.
Right.
We work as a team, and I always introduce my team as like I work for them.
Mm.
And I think that builds a kind of a responsibility, an ownership, and a relationship that, as a leader, I
Mm.
always felt this, that you don't drive agendas, you drive
Mm.
people. And those people, if they are connected to you, would drive the agenda as if it's their own. And that
Mm.
makes a lot of difference, I think.
Beautiful, beautiful, lovely, lovely, lovely. So, uh, it's something is forming in my mind. Okay, while talking to you, huh? I just need a little more inputs, and then I'll put it all together. You, like Warren Buffett said, go opposite. One of his strategies. So when people are selling, he's buying. When people are buying, he's selling. Somnath, when we were talking a little before also, in many of the places that you've gone opposite. You've gone against the grain. What made you do? See, one part is connecting with your people with the heart. The other part is from a business side, you're doing different things which people don't normally do. Uh, what is this? Where does this come from, and how does that work for you? How has it worked?
When I joined this industry, Z Media, for the first time, after like 2 decades of selling soaps and detergents and chocolates of the world,
Uh,
uh, you know, somebody asked me, like, how is he doing that well? And you guys are trying a lot of things, entering new markets, new strategies. I said, I have an advantage. I said, what? I said, nobody in this industry told me what doesn't work.
nice.
So, it's important that way to see things that I always tell this to people. It's not because whatever little achievements or whatever little successes that I have been able to witness in my last 23 years journey, it's actually like I know more ways to fail than
Uh-huh.
people who knows way to win. So I tried many things, and most of them didn't work, but the ones which worked, when I take an interview, and I'm sure you would also understand this, you come across very, very competent people.
Mm.
But what makes a difference for any organization is not the capability, not the competency, but the attitude that person brings on the table.
Mm.
I would rather always go for somebody who has tried 10 things but succeeded in three, rather than someone who tried three things and succeeded in all three.
Mm.
So,
Nice.
that's important. And as long as if you keep trying different things, the chances are that you will come across gold and you will hit gold.
Okay, I hit
Very
gold
little
just now.
chances.
I hit gold, Somnath. Huh? I'm giving you
You
some
already
gold
have a
here.
lot of them. I see on your fingers.
Yeah, but I hit it again. Huh? Can you put this down somewhere? Maybe you write this down. This is what comes to mind, and we can rework it. No, I get S is sincere. Somnath, you come across as extremely sincere. And this sincerity and this likability is an instant rapport building thing that I don't know how you built it in you, but it's part of you. Oh, see, I've trained over 1 million people and I've been doing executive coaching for the top people in the biggest companies. And this is coming from my product knowledge, from the little interaction with you. O is original. You don't copy anybody, Somnath. You are very, very original. I've come across so many different leaders. This originality would probably have that boldness in it, that courage to be yourself as well as to go like how in Star Trek they used to be before time, maybe go where no man has gone before. And that's not the wrong toilet. So M is motivational. At any point of time, you are won awards as the youngest CEO or youngest leader, and you always say that young thing makes you feel very happy. That even after 40 they're calling you young. So, but at any point of time, if you choose to get close to retirement, whatever you're doing within the companies, I strongly recommend and urge you to come and do it with me. Motivate the world. So M is motivational. You're extremely motivational. I love your stories and everything. N is nice. You are genuinely a nice person. It's not a strategic move for you to put your life at risk and go for weddings in African villages. No, it is your genuine niceness, and this is what cannot be hidden. No? That's N. A is authentic. You are authentically what you are inside, you are outside, you are aligned. There's no hidden agendas. T, at least from what I see right now, T is, I'm not sure how to put T, but I would say you earn the trust of people. You're not at a superficial level. You go, and as a result of which, you don't have to put on a show. And H is leader from the heart. Somnath, this is what I got about you. What would you like to say?
I don't know. Thank you so much, Avinash, for such kind words. But yeah, I'm a very bad actor, even though I'm in a media industry. So what you see is what you get. Uh, last time, somebody asked me this question. That's how we have spent, 2 decades in consumer business, and now you're in media. How are you finding the difference?
Right.
So I told that gentleman, is like, listen, life I feel has come to a full circle for me. I said, how? I said, 20 years of my life, when I was selling soaps and detergents of the world, I was looking for a story to sell my product. Now I'm looking for a product to sell my story. So life has come
What is
to a
your
full
story?
circle that.
What is your story?
So my story is like in the content space, I have ideas, I have content, but I need products as financiers to tell that
Right.
on screen
Got
to
it.
the
Got it.
millions
Got
of
it.
viewers that we are reaching that content to.
Oh, the television business, right? Media business. Got it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's come back to a full circle for me. So
Right.
yeah, like he was in splits after that, and he comes from a consumer background as well. I said, like, it's been ages I've been working, but nobody gave me a definition like this between
Lovely.
media and consumer business. But one thing I genuinely feel, and Avinash, I'm lucky that way. I have been able to gain that amount of instant trust element that you have mentioned about. Because I always tell my people, said, like, listen, as anything goes right, the credit goes to you. Anything goes wrong, I'm here to take that. I have strong shoulders. And you won't believe, it has always worked. It has always worked. People went out of their way to deliver.
One question, Somnath, and this is see if our dear viewers want one overarching message from this particular episode with Somnath, I would say it is about being nice, being genuine, being from the heart. Don't put on airs. Different leaders have different styles, but today the world is moving very fast. People can see through any bullshit if there is. No? So why put on a face for the faces we meet? The chehre pe chehra nakab. Why not just be yourself and deal with people on a heart-to-heart basis? Leave the techniques and strategies aside. But I have just one question, Somnath. Does this boomerang sometimes? If you be too nice, do people take advantage of you? Because many of the people who recently became leaders operate out of a certain distancing between themselves and others. You operate differently. Does it boomerang?
Sometimes it does. But, I always gave it a thought that if out of 100 people, two turn back and it doesn't work for you, it doesn't necessarily need you to change your style of working, because there are 98 others who reciprocated the way you expected them to. So, there'll always be exceptions. But I think end of the day, as you rightly said, maybe, in today's world, we don't work in an ecosystem where uh, people look up to hierarchy so much, people look up
Sure.
to age so much. It's
Yeah.
all about competency and being a team player. And what is it that you are, I always say this to people: I'm not the first guy in my position, neither will I be the last.
Mm,
I think what question every day I ask myself is like, what is the legacy I'm leaving behind?
mm,
Am I leaving behind a legacy of competition? Am I leaving behind a legacy of profitability? Am I leaving behind a legacy for innovation? Or am I leaving behind a space where people can just be themselves and
mm,
perform and deliver without the fear of, uh, I'm not saying that one is not right and the other is better than the other, but
mm,
one has to maybe choose the legacy that at every leadership position that they need to leave behind. I think once that person could answer that genuinely to himself, then I think it helps in conducting oneself on a day-to-day ecosystem, which is not easy to operate. But I think, yeah, it makes sense maybe.
brilliant, brilliant. No? So, for imagine if a super young leader like Somnath can give you so much now. Imagine what he'll do when he becomes older.
Thank you again for calling me young.
That's great, Somnath. Lovely chatting with you. I love the last part also, because when you operate out of fear, it is FEAR. People forget everything and run. No? Yeah,
Absolutely.
but what you do is you operate out of love. Huh? But love is also LOVE. You leave out vague expectations. So there's clarity
Wow.
between the two people. So the work also works. Brilliant. Lovely talking with you. Thank you so, so much. Look forward to interacting with you more later. See you.
Pleasure, Avinash.
Bye.
Pleasure. Take care.
Thank you.